here for the long run, strap in for a long one. We got everybody on one. Now you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my.
Welcome everybody, it's week 2 of the VCS Spring Split 2021, and here on VCS English we're excited to bring you all of these games. We start off with a cracker tonight, but to talk about it all I've gathered 2 of the greatest minds I could find. I didn't look very long. Rebel and Vinny. How are you tonight, Rebel? Or early morning for you?
The same way I described to you when you asked me to be on, available, which is the only reason I'm here, but happy to be here, very, very early, but I'm excited for some more VCS.
Good stuff. Vinny, how have you been?
I'm good. I was very ready to be stressed out of my mind coming into this day, but I actually finished my assignments, so I'm good.
Job.
I'm ready to just relax for the next couple of days and talk about League.
That's very good. So let's do a bit of a review of our first week. If we want to kind of have a look at the standings. Now, I will say our standings graphic does have a typo. Flash is not 0-2. That is just a typo. Ignore that.
They are in games. But
yeah, in games they are, but not in series. They only played once. GAM beat them pretty bad, but it still only counts as one. Rebel, what was your kind of impression on because you only came on Friday, what was your impression of Saturday, Sunday?
I mean, the one thing that I unfortunately missed by being only on the Friday show is this Saigon Buffalo roster, man. Like, this is a young roster. We weren't expecting that much from them. We didn't think, they were going to come in, as a lot of them are rookies. They smashed 2 teams. They smashed Cerberus, and they came out and they were able to get victories against 2 of our better teams when they also came out and they beat TS, too. Team Secrets also no pushover whatsoever. So beating 2 of these mid to top tier teams kind of puts them a fantastic place to not only reach playoffs, but be one of our top contenders.
Well, is Team Secret a pushover? Ugh, I don't know. Maybe they are after their performance.
You wouldn't expect it at the very least.
No, you definitely wouldn't. Vinny, what are some of your takeaways?
My takeaways is nothing I say ever comes true. GAM was really good. GAM was way better than I had any expectation, and same with Saigon Buffalo, and a good part of that was the bot laners, the AD carries. Look, I have to come out and say it. Style, variety, I'm sorry for all the flame I gave you in the off-season, because there was a lot of it. And you came up, you showed me completely wrong. You showed me up, and you showed that all that flame should have been directed at Slater. But and I mean, to be fair to me, it wasn't completely ungrounded. Because if you take a quick look at the stats of Style from now, and between now and the last split, such a massive improvement.
Don't worry, we'll get to the rookie discussion. I know what you're throwing to, so don't do that yet.
Okay. It's up.
Well, it's all right. We'll bring the graphic back up. Sorry,
okay.
That was Vinny just jumping the gun there. He's keen. But we will get to it, as we may as well go to it now, because we wanted to talk a bit about redemption, because we've got our 2 bot lanes in this first series.
Sorry, Spirits.
Yeah, Vinny got a little bit mixed up in our run there, so whatever. We'll just have to adapt. If we want to bring those graphics back up, Vinny, give us a chat about these ADCs.
So Style on Buffalo looked absolute garbage. He looked so bad, and you can see just so much improvement has come out of this player. His CSD is up by 8. His goal difference is now positive by a lot. And granted, it was one series, so that could easily fall back down a little bit in particular, but he's being around the map more. His KDA is so much better. He's not getting caught out as much, and it's just so much improvement. And even just in the eye test, the stats don't show everything, but the eye test, he looks so much better. Yeah. And similarly, if we throw over to Variety, the other AD carry in this matchup, from what we saw in promotion, we don't have all his stats from promotion, but the ones we do have, you can see a decent amount of improvement. He's getting a bit more gold, and he's putting it to use. He's got a better KDA. He's got a better kill participation. And from what I can recall, I don't have the exact stats, his CSDF 15 is actually an improvement because he was pretty much losing every lane in promotion. And so huge upside, huge upgrade, not upgrade. You know what I mean? Huge step up.
Huge
improvement.
Improvement.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hard.
It is hard. But don't worry, we'll get there. Vinny's brain, I promise, will turn on eventually.
No.
But I mean, I guess we can just dive straight into talking about our first matchup then, which is going to be the Saigon Buffalo taking on GAM, a top of the table clash. Words I didn't expect to be saying about it. GAM is a monster. I know a lot of people are very excited about Saigon Buffalo after their first week. And fair enough. Like, they're an exciting team. But GAM is still, like, ridiculously strong. Rebel, what's your impression of this matchup?
So I take Saigon's success so far with a little bit of a grain of salt, simply because they did flip against Team Secret, which I really did not expect. It was a very close series. They had another close series against Cerberus, but Cerberus is not still operating at full power. There's still no Eagle, and they're still playing, or Eagle, my apologies, and no LL also for some reason in the top lane. I don't know if Pun's just taken the spot or what happened.
Apparently
but both of their, apparently he's just taken the spot away. Either way, Saigon Buffalo, they played two opponents. Both series were exceptionally close, and neither one of them were expected to be at the level of GAM. So I think this will be their first true test of how good they actually are. Even taking a game, I think, would be a massive step up here for Saigon. And on the side of GAM, I mean, they literally have not missed a beat. If anything, they actually look much better than they did last year. You still have Kaya. You still have Kadi in the mid lane, who actually looked incredible playing DL1 champions for absolutely no reason. Levi finally figured out how to play the horse lady, and you guys' fan club can start back up with Levi as your number one signature. And Style and B had some fantastic play as well. So GAM, I think they clearly look like our number one team, despite that Saigon had two really good victories under their belt week one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I actually think one of the big factors here, I will throw to you in a sec, don't worry, Vinny, but is a lot of the reason Saigon Buffalo was succeeding last week. Don't get me wrong, it was a whole team effort. Ariety was very impressive. Froggy actually played a lot better than we expected, but also Husmed was able to just win every top lane matchup. Yeah, you're against Kiaya now, big boy. It's not going to be the same thing, is it? Vinny, what are some of your highlights of this matchup? Where do you think it's going to be made or broken? I
think you want it to be the top lane because Kiaya versus Husmed sounds entertaining, but it's going to be the mid lane. It's going to be the mid lane because Kati, for the most part, is just better Froggy. He's Froggy that can CS for starters. And Levi is now direct. The minions he collects don't have to go through interdimension through like 50 different games and all this time lapse and all this. They just sort of walk across the field now, out of Froggy's lane into Levi's pocket. And that just means they're going to be, that mid jungle is going to be very, very strong. And Kiaya doesn't need to do anything. In the win against Flash, he did absolutely nothing. He was up like a few CS on Yoshino, but he didn't do anything. He didn't have to do anything because the game was completely won on the side of the map by the time lane was ending. But he didn't do anything. He didn't smash Yoshino and carry it across the map. He just existed.
Yeah,
and Husman did all this.
I found it very, very funny that the LoL Esports Twitter highlighted like some amazing performers out of week one, and they had Kiaya there with his stats, and his stats were admittedly absurd. But it's like, if you watch those games, he didn't do anything. Like, he just won lane. He won lane and then was like, hey guys, I beat Yoshino. What? Oh, the Nexus is exploding.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, we're done.
He just rocked up and it was like, I need some KDA. I'm going to go pick on DivKit a little bit. And so he did.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah, GAM is looking stronger than ever. And I just don't think SGB can match up. Let's talk about this mid lane, though, because Froggy, we joke about him a lot. And somewhat deservedly, but he did have a much better performance last week. Rebel, do you think he's got any chance against Cardi?
The big thing I noticed last week about Froggy's performances, especially in his Twisted Fate games, but even in that Callista game, is the adaptability to what's happening in the game. When you want to attack and you want to play through mid lane, they're capable of doing so very directly by literally pulling the jungler into mid lane and using them as a weapon of offense. But also playing to those side lanes is huge as well. When you've got very powerful side laners when they start to get going, like Hosmed, like Ariety, who seemed to do really well last week, Froggy doesn't really need to stay mid lane. He doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to try to outfarm his opponent. His job is to get control of mid lane and then go literally anywhere else. So even if he's falling 20, 30, 40 CS behind, as long as he keeps those ganks up, keeps control of the map entirely, seems to be working out really well for him. I really think that teams, even somebody like GAM, who is exceptionally talented in their side lanes and mid lane, need to respect the Twisted Fate and all the possibility that they have to adapt around Froggy. You can call him a lot of things. You can call him, one of the worst CSers, or, maybe losing his CS through that quantum time portal to Levi literally every single game, but you can't call him not flexible after last week.
That's very true. Yeah.
I think in some ways Froggy is the best player in the VCS because he has to work so much harder to be effective in the game because he doesn't have the CS to funnel to get him gold.
One day he'll take off the training weights.
He makes a lot of he's Rock Lee. He is Rock Lee. He has these training weights which are causing him to miss CS. Takes those off. He's going to get every CS, and then he is going to be the next Faker. That's just how it's going to work, right? That's how League of Legends works.
But let's put our money where our mouth is, lads. Production, let's bring up our predictions, and I believe we've all predicted the exact same thing.
Yep.
We're fun killers today, unfortunately. I know so many people are just so hyped on the Buffalo, but GAM 2-0, GAM 2-0, and GAM 2-0.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Froggy still has the training weights on.
Yeah, he hasn't taken them off yet. Look, again, I think SGB proved us wrong.
will win.
SGB proved us wrong in a lot of ways last week, but it's GAM. They're looking like the best team in the league, and it's not even close. They utterly dismantled Flash. I just don't think there's any world where Saigon Buffalo can take a game. If they do, it'd be extremely impressive. Can I get you guys' last thoughts on this one, Rebel, starting with you? Again, throw to a quick.
I do think it is possible for Saigon to take a game. I think in a perfect world, if Ariety is able to take it to late game and Hosmed's on one of these team fighters and his lane doesn't go horribly against Kiaya, if you get Froggy on something he can control with, maybe get BJ to kind of keep the Levi train slower than what you normally expect it to be, I really do think that they could take a game off of the side of GAM. I don't think that's unreasonable, but yeah, GAM just seems way too strong to give away games even this early in the season to a team, even with as much tempo as you've got right now on the side of Saigon.
Yeah, for sure. And Vinny, I know I promised you get your last thoughts, but you're casting, so you get to say it then anyway. We need to throw to a quick break, so we'll be back in not too long. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back with Champion Select.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll ride into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to touch a dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you.
Sorry about that, everybody. We did just have a little bit of a tech issue there, but we do have a draft on our hands. SGB is on the blue side. We have Renekton, Set, and Lucian taken out of the pool. GAM has removed Kai'Sa, Akali, and Pantheon, and the first pick is an Olaf. And I think we're all looking at a certain name. We built him up, but Frog Lee has gone missing.
Yeah, I've been betrayed. I was really happy with that reference. I was really, really excited to talk about Froggy. Now he's not even gonna. I'm mad. Anyway,
This is
we
interesting.
have
We don't know much about him. We really don't
No, we
know what
don't.
he plays.
He played like one game in promotion, and I
Yeah.
think they lost.
I don't really remember it. But
I
yeah,
don't remember
so we have the Samira and the Kiaya Camille secured, answered back with the MF Seraphine. Seraphine was permabanned against SGB last week because of Froggy. Very possible that RBY just plays the same things though. This draft is already shaping up to be pretty good.
That it
Yeah.
is. Oh! Look at that.
Lilia.
Levi's making up for no prevalence on the champion for the entirety of the split that it was busted by picking it exclusively to split. You gotta appreciate that.
Of course we do. We're the Lilia fan club. But we do actually have pretty similar picks so far. If we assume that Seraphine is a mid lane, we both have both teams picking up a solo lane, a jungler, and their ADC. It doesn't look like GAM's rating it as a mid laner though, because they just banned out the Zoe, so they definitely think that's going down to the bottom lane.
Yeah,
Vinny,
and
where do you
with
think
the,
it's going to go?
With the ban towards Alistar, I think it is going to be a bot lane Seraphine, taking away those engaged supports that end up really making MF and Seraphine have a hard time in that bot lane. If I see a Rel ban, I will pretty much guarantee it, I think, but then there's still a Leona, so it's not like they can ban what they want. There's the Rel, so I would imagine B would be looking to pick up the Leona on this rotation, have that really strong 2v2 kill lane, which should be able to shut down this MF and Seraphine. Seraphine can still go mid, but with these bans, they are sort of indicating that is going to be a bot lane Seraphine. So I would expect to see Leona. Praying that's a Cardi Galio.
It could be.
And
Cardi
they're
does
just
play
making
it.
sure, to lock in where Seraphine's going before they pick their support.
It can be just a flex, right? Because
Gotcha.
if it ends up being Seraphine mid, you can counterpick the Seraphine and the Galio.
But I would
no
think the
problem.
Galio is good into Seraphine in the mid lane, not as much as a support. And
Okay.
Ooh,
Mordekaiser is picked up. That has been the eternal sort of lazy champion for Husband. I don't actually hate it here because it's countering the Camille Galio,
Yep.
which is not a terrible decision. Let's see how SGB rounds their comp out, but Rebel, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm actually in love with the Mordekaiser because I think it also is a really, really good counter into the Samira that they've got in this composition, where Samira is pretty much free to jump into this comp with this Lilia backing it up with the Marvel. You've also got the double engage with that Galio and Camille. And now, if you go way too hard with Samira, you immediately get locked into, unfortunately, the Death Realm, and you've got nothing to do here. It's going to be the Seraphine bot lane that gets locked in, and now the attempt to Blitzcrank is covered. I'd love to see some Blitzcrank from B.
B plays it. Like, that's not an ironic hover. Like, he might lock this in.
no!
Ooh.
Yay!
There it is.
It's not the Jays. It is the Leona. It is that hard engage support for B. That is much better than a Galio support, which it was threatening to be.
Yeah.
Whew.
This is...
Thank God.
I think you've made a very good point here, Rebel, that Samira is just going to get Death Realmed, dragged on down to Octum Nocti, and what damage does GAM have when she's gone?
Levi.
Levi.
Kayaya.
Yeah.
God. Galio still does a lot of damage.
It's true, but
Against
is it
pushy
enough to
targets.
deal with an Olaf and, you know, an ulting Misfortune with a Seraphine protecting them?
That's fair. One thing to point out is the fact that Saigon Buffalo has drafted very little of their own kind of massive engage, in that they've got, Seraphine Ultimate, Olaf running at you, and then, Syndra throwing a ball at somebody. Like, that's the best you've got. So they're playing super hard counter engage in this, which if GAM is running the table, it'll be a lot easier for them.
Yeah, however, the downside with that is you are not as likely to be able to make the plays around the map unless you have a really strong laning phase. I don't think that's going to be the case with the kill lane pressure coming up from GAM. Kiaya and Harsmet are probably going to sort of have neutral lane priority and sort of trade places. BJ should have the faster jungle clear and maybe a bit extra support from RBY in the first couple of levels. But once Cardi gets some AP and some points in his queue, he can shove out the waves and match and even outroam the Syndra on this Galio. So
I mean, the thing in my mind is that Husband picked up this Mordekaiser quite a lot last split as the counter to the global comp, and I mean, it works in theory. You just Death Realm whoever dives first. It never worked. Never. But we are on the Rift. We will have to say goodbye to Rebel, as much as we'll miss you. Can you give us your last thoughts and who's going to win game one?
Yeah, I think Saigon Buffalo has put together a lot of their composition with the intent of them being good players and being able to survive the laning phase, and then having the ability to actually go and do some significant work. BJ, what do you do?
he's
Oh,
getting
he
extra attack speed.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of here. Sorry, that was amazing. I think it's a gambling, either with them.
Okay. That's clever by BJ. Risky stuff. But
Okay.
doesn't get punished.
So this is because he's starting on the blue side. He's not going to have that extra attack damage from the red buff. He's not going to take that extra damage from the Raptors in the early stage of the clear. So he just wants to get this extra damage down. However, GAM has recognized this, and they're going to try and punish this by going for a late invade onto the Olaf. And because he's on half health already, he is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. This is
Come
a bit
on.
of a problem here for SGB. I love the strat. I love the thinking of like, oh, well, I'll just go get hit by the tower a couple times because I'm Olaf. But it's too obvious.
Yeah,
Like, it's
also
so
unfortunate-
advertised. You also, it's Lilia. She's starting topside. She wants Raptors.
Exactly.
She wants that chicken.
Because it's Lilia.
She's hungry for chicken.
Yep, exactly. Because it's Lilia, she's going to start on the top side. She's going to try and punish you. And it means that the early sort of clear that early clear advantage Olaf should normally have is going to be broken up. Now, if I was B, I would be leaving Style to his own devices and praying he doesn't get like pushed around too much and go ward out the blue side jungle and stop Olaf from going for this counter invade and setting up this vertical jungle. But they don't have the pressure, so Taki's going to secure this side of the jungle for SGB. They're just going to commit to the vertical jungle.
There's a bit of a mistake here by Levi. He's actually going to come out behind from this. Because BJ's lost a little bit of time, but he picked up the enemy wolf camp.
Yes, he did. So that's actually going to work out really well for BJ. He's recovered from that really well. And that is due to the help from Taki making sure they can secure the entirety of this bot camp. Whereas Husman has the initial push on like Kiaya to be expected, so he has to they hadn't set up for this.
Oh, hang on, we do have an engage. Taki is taking a lot of damage, but with Olaf floating around, Style is not going to overcommit. A good call.
Yeah, so this doesn't impact Levi too much. He's going to try
Levi
something.
Prancing in. Can we see the hook shot come out? He's flashing. They want Husmed, and Camille will go in. A good flash out of Husmed, though. It's a 1-for-1. Watch out, Eep. But it doesn't matter. The Master of Metal is melted. And that's a first blood for Kiaya.
Yeah, had the better metal legs. Oh, never mind, bot lane.
Oh, here we go again. Style does go into that wind wall. He gets the first kill. Now, alright, he wants to trade it back, but he has no hope, and it's a double kill for GAM. And oh boy, does the draft even matter when they're this damn good?
And GAM just going back to the tried and true GAM strategy of just kill them. It never fails. Just kill them, win through being better players. And they got a kill on the top side. That means everything's going up Kiaya. He's able to pick up this wolf camp as well. He's able to pick up that top lane scuttle. He's going to get the Grand Prix set. And then he's going to be able to return back to his side of the map, get the respawn on his wolves, and actually they're just looking to push Husmed off this massive wave that's crashing into the top lane. This is really well played out of GAM, and Husmed just can't really do anything. He's going to get denied so much. He's able to pick up that cannon, which is important, but across both sides of the map, it's really GAM showing up huge, and this mid lane is the only thing that's about even for SGB.
Yeah, this is a very, very bad start for the Buffalo. That Buffalo Stampede looks like it might have gotten a little bit lost at some point. Let's see if they can bounce back. Let's get a replay of this game.
And we see Levi flash in really early, and a good flash from Husmed out to dodge the hook shot, but followed flash from Kiaya means they have enough damage to put it down. And then we just see the strength of the hard engage onto such a squishy support in Taki. The mobility of Styles able to pick it up. Then a good stun from Arati, and the early game damage is enough. That Conqueror coming in really strong for Samira, able to build up the damage needed to take out that MF. And this is an MF who has gone for the Doran's Blade as well. So
Levi's got a mirror.
Yes!
It's Moonstone Lilia! It's also Lilia going top again, but they don't have any CC to stop the teleport. Can they kill him? Ooh, no. Very, very close. As Husmed does have to burn the TP to get away.
Extremely, extremely hard. They tried extremely hard, but the hook shot was used. There was nothing. There was no level 6 on Levi. Dragon's going to go down.
I don't think it is. Only GAM has teleport. He flashes over the wall. Camille will be arriving. A good bit of damage out of RBY, but he doesn't have level 6 yet. Has to flash over that wall. And this is GAM with the control of the dragon. BJ just not reading the map at all.
BJ tried really hard, was trying to cross map from that play from Levi, but Levi is able to rotate fast enough. The bot lane from GAM giving up some of that minion priority to go and get pressure onto the dragon, knew they were going to be backed up by Cardi, knew Kiaya had the teleport, they were able to come down, they were able to stop BJ getting this dragon, and it might cost them a tower plate, but I think that's worth it overall.
Yeah, I think that's very much worth it.
And Taki.
And there it is, the Zenith Blade landing, but Ariety doing well there to dissuade Style from coming in. Levi covering, doesn't land anything and won't be able to get anyone to take a nap. And we finally have the Moonstone Lilia. I'm sure this is something people have heard a lot about, but just in case they haven't, Vinny, do you want to talk a bit about it before the next engage?
So the long and short of it is the Moonstone will proc really, really often super frequently on the Alilia's passive. It means you're guaranteed at least 2 procs per damage hit, and that's going to provide a lot of healing overall. A lot of this sort of tech was started in the LPL by the likes of SOFM, and SOFM never really went for the Moon Staff that is often talked about. He usually just went Moon Staff into Zhonya's into the full AP route, which is missing out on the potential of a lot of healing, a lot of extra AP, but the idea of it is still the same. You just you provide an extra bit of healing to your team. You make the rest of your team unkillable. Unfortunately, you can't heal yourself with the Moonstone, so if you get targeted, you are still likely going to be killed. But it just provides so much more for your team than Leandri's would, especially against this sort of team where there's no like big tanky front line that you're really looking to worry about. So we see a bit of a fight up top lane.
Yep, that is the death rail being used. Kiaya will be able to get back towards his tower, but not quite close enough for Husband to take shots. So they come out, and now they're going to try and turn it around as BJ might have overextended. Everyone is arriving. BJ will get the first kill. B going very low. It's a double kill for Olaf. This has gone wrong here for GAM. They throw away 2 kills. Levi stops the reinforcements, but SGB fight back.
And Kiaya was taken far too low from just from that initial Death Realm fight, which meant that when he tried to re-engage on BJ, he was just blown up. And this is going to turn into a Rift Herald. This completely undoes the plays that GAM made earlier. The lanes are back to the gold, rather, is back to even. It's actually a little bit ahead on the side of SGB. They have the Rift Herald in the pocket to turn into even more gold. They still have this pressure in the bot lane. They have the pressure in the mid lane because RBY didn't even have to follow the roam, I don't think. So it just meant, yeah, look, Kiaya's already half health as he goes in onto Olaf, and they just turn around and kill him. That means B's left overextended. Cardi is able to flash out, so it's not too bad, and Levi with the great ult. RBY did follow, my mistake. So it just means... So it's just an excellent response from SGB. They saw the play coming. B was just sort of hanging around there trying to be threatening, trying to dissuade the dive. Then they overreach. They get punished. We're back to a spot where SGB has a bit more control, has a bit more gold, has that Rift Herald to make the next play. I would be looking for them to put it towards this bot lane. The turret's already on 3 plates. Down to 3 plates rather. So just a little bit more.
Yeah, and as I think it's still on screen. I'm not sure, as that was a little bit of a long passage of play. Husmed did win Player of the Week last week. Very impressive stuff. He did start off that play in the top side as well on the Mordekaiser, even if in the end it was BJ that closed it out. That is voted by the community. So just something we're doing now. End of every week. Make sure you check our social media and go... vote for your favorite player of the week, or the player you think performed the best, and Husmed overwhelmingly won that one from last week. We'll have to see if he can carry it into this week.
And we're seeing the secret tech SGB is bringing out against Levi. Without Froggy in the game playing, he is only even in CS, as there's an engager bot lane.
Not on my screen yet. I'm apparently a little bit behind, as I've just seen B go in. There is a big engage, though. Style is going to go forward. He's trying to build up the Style meter, but he can't do it. It's 1 for 1.
It's 1 for 1 overall. Gonna resync. There is a Rift Herald being dropped, but I am at 11:30, 31, 32.
33, 34, 35.
Yeah, you're close.
Lovely. I fixed it myself. Woo!
Yay! Alright, so Rift Herald drops, not quite enough to take the tower, but that's so much gold back into Ariety. Style dying, but Ariety surviving means more experience, more gold onto that MF, more gold onto this Olaf, who is doing extremely well for themselves, and SGB are standing up to GAM extremely well.
They are. This is a really good performance out of them. They've got that 500 gold lead, as you mentioned. This is very, very strong out of SGB, and it just comes on the back of a bit of a fumble. Something GAM is prone to, as we will get a replay of this bot lane play.
And it looks like a really good start out of B and GAM, but Olaf is there when they're not expecting him to be. Style has to commit super hard for the kill because he's far too short range to
I feel
just
like that's
kill
a
him at
misplay
range.
out of Style. He had to turn and just hit BJ once, just to get the S rank.
Yeah, I think as soon as you see BJ appear, you may as well just sort of take the summoner spell advantage you got out of that engage and then back away. But gonna see them try to defend this tower. They should be able to succeed.
Yeah.
And that, the dragon did actually go the way of GAM somewhere along the way, but so they have that snowball option for them. It's the Cloud Soul, which is not the greatest on there for them. Having more CDR on those big ultimates like the Solar Flare, the Heroic Entrance, that's really important. But the movement speed buff that you get from using your ultimate is going to be kind of wasted.
The passive movement speed's not bad.
Passive movement speed.
I feel like that
passive
always
movement
gets...
speed's
Exactly. I feel like that gets slept on with Cloud Soul. Is just having more movement speed. You know, movement speed's one of the strongest stats in the game.
That's true. That's why Udyr is broken.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But we do have Kiaya just lurking up here. He's kind of sniffed out the BJ play, so he's being very, very, very careful at the moment. And honestly, this is going well for SGB. As we've been saying, we have Ariety with a lead, at least in CS in the bot lane. It's kind of evened out by the kill. And now with the shield bow being completed for Style, they are back close onto parity. And it does look like we aren't going to get the Moon Staff. It's just going to be the Moon Stone into Morello's. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, the Morello's is basically the answer to this Fed Olaf. He's got his Gore Drinker already. Wants to just stop, try and put a halt to that. Could go into the Moon Staff, into the Staff of Everflowing Water from here. But stopping off at that Morello's just to make sure that BJ can be killable in these later fights, at which we might be starting up around these Rift Heralds. Around the Rift Herald. Actually, that's probably a little bit away. So just gonna try and I'm gonna try and get some extra pressure in this top lane. Make sure Kiaya can respond to these moves, and he's actually going to head into the bot lane with his teleport available. So GAM in first priority for this Rift Herald with their bot lane in position, as well as Kiaya in position to teleport in. But Husband's just going to walk his way up there, so Kiaya has to respond with a teleport, or they have to give it up.
Yeah, well, let's see what decision they do make. It looks like they want to contest it, and with all of their members here, you'd think they'd be able to. Nope, they couldn't get close enough. That is just going to be another objective here for Saigon Buffalo, and they really look like they're going to move up to an even bigger gold lead and have a real good shot at taking a game.
Yeah, that's actually really impressive out of SGB. They knew that bot wave was pushed all the way into tower, so Kiaya wasn't actually going to be able to threaten anything if they sent Harsmed into that top side. So that's what they did. They sent Harsmed up there, and Kiaya's only now crashing into the tower. Harsmed has to be a little bit careful because Levi is in the area, but he should be aware of that, put down that control ward, should see the Lilia on the red buff, and it's actually just SGB making all the good tempo plays. Now they're going to hit this top side. They have the Herald. This tower should be done for, pretty much guaranteed. Unless they just choose not to, but
it would be
they could have just dropped it. They could have dropped it. They may just be saving it, because in 50 seconds the dragon is coming up, and you can use that to get that mid priority for that dragon fight. That's probably what they're going to do. But BJ just hanging around makes me a little bit unsure what they're doing. Now they're backing off. They're going to save it for the mid lane pressure for the dragon fight.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They just I'm not sure why BJ hung around for so long, but I guess there wasn't really much else for him to do on the map. All of his camps are down. So
nothing to do on the map. Just try and pressure that tower down if you can. Weren't able to, but now they can set up. They backed as a trio, so their tempo is preserved. That is something really important to do. Always back as a team where possible, so you can keep your tempo up. Never have one member off the map at a time. Here we go. This Herald is going down. That means Cardi, B, they have to respond to it. Style as well is going to. It's still going to get the charge off. Not going to break the tower, but almost did.
Yeah, got
But
very,
they're out of
very
position.
close. Wow. They are out of position. Levi coming in from a flank. There's a solar flare onto that Seraphine. She's taking so much damage. Will just instantly go down. There's a Hextech ultimatum as well to lock them up. It's answered by a very good bullet time. Heroic entrance. Husmed is in the death realm with Style. The exact interaction that Rebel mentioned. Can he actually get the kill? The dashes are in and the flash, and Style survives. 2 members of SGB hit the deck.
And Taki was was hanging far too close to the river. Levi is playing a little bit with fire with RBY, but he's a bit too close to river. GAM's able to capitalize on it. They win the team fight. They are going to get this dragon, and that's going to put them back into... Actually, they're still behind. They do not have that extra turret. That first turret is what's keeping GAM in the lead in the gold. But Kiaya's going to clear this wave. The next wave should be able to...
SGB.
On that bot lane, should be able to crash. Yeah, SGB is still in the lead, sorry.
Yeah.
But Kiaya's... And this on Soul Point, they have that snowball coming through, so those extra movement stats are going to play a lot into that later stages of the game. But the towers have been set up for SGB that they are on their last breath. They are
Here
going
we
to
have
fall
this
down.
replay.
One just fell down. I don't
Am I
have
out
a
of
replay.
sync? Okay,
We
I
are
think
out
I'm
of sync.
ahead. Yeah, I think I jumped ahead to try and resync. So once we come out of...
Yep.
I don't
The
have a
replay,
timestamp at the moment.
the replay just started. So yeah, we see great catch from Levi, putting Taki to sleep. Great follow-up from B. All this engage goes in, kills Taki immediately. Husmed tries to do his best on the backline, but the call from GAM to peel off the chase and just make sure that Style either trades 1-for-1, or if he gets out of the Death Realm alive, can escape and they kill Husmed, is excellent. That's the choice they make. It means Husmed isn't able to get anything despite his best effort. He goes down. They get the dragon team fight, and we apparently missed something in that replay, and it's B flashing over a wall, and alright, he does die. Okay.
He does. So
That's
now
a
we
lot.
can resync.
That's the kill.
Can I get
Yes.
a timestamp from you, lads?
50.
Yeah, I'm gonna... Okay.
51, 52, 53. Yeah.
I'm gonna pause at 20:08. Please tell me when you get there.
Damn, alrighty. So we are almost
My
there.
internet's very bad.
01, 02, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we
9,
are.
10.
10. There we are.
11. All right. Hopefully that holds. Yeah, my internet is real bad, and my computer's even worse. But we're doing our best, I promise. As it is GAM asserting themselves back into this game. They are still a little bit down in gold, but all of the tempo is in their favor at the moment.
All the tempos in the favor. The gold is basically even, and that's with two towers down for GAM. So they have a bit extra standing gold on the map. That bot lane tower is pretty much on its last legs according to the minimap. So if Kiaya can just get down there, it'll only take a couple of hits to knock that down. That should bring GAM into either to actual parity or into the lead a little bit. But we're going to have to see how they play around that Kiaya split push, the 1-3-1. The top lane is currently in the sway of SGB, with RBY being full control of that. Kiaya being a little bit caught out by BJ means that he's going to have to evacuate.
Yep, Cardi's on the run. Does have a blast cone to get to. Goes gold, and the rest of GAM are arriving, but the bullet time does a lot of damage, and that's going to be a free pick on the mid laner.
And great work from BJ, just making sure to blow up that blast cone, using his Ragnarok on the blast cone so he doesn't get knocked away from it. That's going to be a kill. That's going to be a top lane tower trade, as Kiaya is able to pick up that bot lane tower. So, and then BJ, of course, standing on top of Cardi, so he can't use the Justice Punch. There are too many Ks.
Do you see BJ defending his red buff as well? Kiaya a little bit caught out. Should be able to hook shot away though. He's fine. SGB do not want to lose this game. They want to absolutely storm this one home. And what a comeback from a disastrous early game. When those first 3 kills happened, I thought this was lights out.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen SGB are making excellent plays around the map, and that has been what has brought them most of their wins. We didn't see that, don't worry, Cardi. They've been winning around the map. We thought a big part of that was Froggy, but apparently they can do it even without him, as RBY has come in, and he's been rather quiet for the most part, but he has been pulling his weight, and Levi's caught.
He's very caught, but will go gold for now. He's doing a lot of damage. There's a Seraphine ult, and it's a kill for BJ. Style goes down as well, and SGB are here to play.
And Style, you have to. That is the one skill. That is the one skill you have to press your W for. That Seraphine ult is massive, and they're going to use that and turn straight onto the Baron. Kiaya is going to give them. They're going to give it up for GAM on GAM side and just try and blow up this dragon before BJ responds. But he's there. Yeah, BJ's here. This is almost too risky because of the smite.
This is greedy out of SGB, because this is what's going to happen. They just turn it straight around. BJ goes down. B's going to go as well. But Kiaya's really strong. And the heroic entrance, I should say, is here. This is a bridge too far, SGB. Baron for Cloud Soul is a good trade for you. Baron for Cloud Soul and 3 kills to Kiaya? That's not a good trade for you anymore. That is still going to be Cloud Soul. It is only 2 Baron buffs, and SGB, they just got a little cocky.
They were trying to get BJ in just to smite it away, or at least scare them off with the threat. But the turn from Kiaya is just too strong. He is fed. He is doing very well for himself. He had a few kills under his belt. He had a lot of solo time in the side lane. He was really strong, and he showed it there, getting 3 kills for himself. And that's only Baron buff on 2 people, and it's your top laner, which is good, and your mid laner, which is also kind of good if you want to do the 1-3-1, but not having that in that middle section, in that mid lane at all on your 1-3-1 means that you're either 4-1 it, which means there's a free way for Kiaya to try and shove through, or you give up that mid lane pressure, and that makes your side lanes have to work extra hard. And yeah, here we see Cardi doing an excellent job of gatekeeping, but the engage range from Kiaya is just so big. B is able to get that last stun off onto Arati, and I think Kiaya was a little bit surprised by his own burst damage as he turned back there, but he's able to chase down Arati, able to blow up Cardi, because Taki is just so squishy. Cardi and Taki need to not play in the same game together.
You're having a bad day with the names at the moment, but we do come out of the replay, and SGB are using their remaining 2 Baron buffs successfully. They do take that mid lane inner tower. Despite the passage of play, they're definitely favouring GAM. SGB does still have 2 Baron buffs. They are going to be in the priority for a little while. They'll get 2 towers, and this isn't bad for SGB. It's just unfortunate that they were so greedy. Just give the Cloud Soul up. Who cares?
Or just take the dragon instead of the Baron if you want to be extra safe. But they're able to pick up these 2 towers in trade for 1 on the top side. But
ooh, hang on.
Now Kiaya is here.
The teleport's coming in, though. SGB's just going to pull the trigger. They're going to try and break one arm of the Buffalo off. And there's the engage. RBY in a lot of trouble. Will not get taunted up. Didn't come out in time. Husmed very low. He goes down. It's 2 for 1 at the moment. Style is rolling. A heroic entrance over on top of Kiaya. They slow down BJ. There's the big shield. B might be the sacrificial lamb. There it is. The Seraphine Q is absolutely massive. Style is going to pop up. He's in the circle. He's spinning. He's winning. And it is going to be all GAM all the time. Style absolutely carries.
And I thought SGB had it, but Style's able to come in huge with that Seraphine ult. That Inferno trigger does so much, and it means the GAM is just GAM's team fighting is just so crisp. It's so clean, even with Lilia being caught out on the side, isolated, which really is not where you want the Lilia with the Moonstone to be, because not able to provide any extra healing. They're able to catch out the main damage, catch out RBY and Taki, And even Harsmed teleports in just to be blown up. Now, B able to keep the chase going, and it almost looks great with this massive damage out of Taki, but huge taunt from Cardi and into a huge Inferno trigger from Style. And they just clean up the fight. And I mean, everyone from GAM, except Levi, who was kind of caught out, played that so well. But
I also think there was a massive mistake out of Variety. He committed the bullet time to killing Levi. Like, Levi was dead. The bullet time wasn't going to do that much more damage than just auto-attacking and using Gale Force. I think that's a huge mistake, and it meant that they didn't have the bullet time for when they were fighting in that corridor. Even 2 ticks of the bullet time would have won them the fight. I think that's a huge mistake out of Variety.
I think his idea was to bullet time through the Zonyas of Levi and just do as much damage to the mass out in that lane. But yeah, it just wasn't short.
If that's the idea, that's short. Even worse.
I don't know then. Alrighty,
I know he intended to just blow Levi up, but I just think that's a huge waste.
But the Zonyas came in great, and lots of positioning, but SGB have been doing a really good job at matching and being ahead on the rotations, while despite GAM having that movement speed advantage from the soundtrack.
Hang on, we've got another fight here. B does dive on in. The heroic entrance will land straight on top. Leona has gone gold for now. BJ running around in the Ragnarok. The shutdown straight onto Ariety. Cardi and Kiaya in the backline. Double kill. Style is winning. He is spinning. He goes down into that GA. Husmed's actually pretty big here. Should be able to pick up 1, but it will only be the 1 as he gets CC'd up. Taken down. And SGB, the wheels are off. BJ is dead. And GAM, they're just too good.
And if Levi had built a staff of Everflowing Water, B may have survived as well, because he should have died a lot earlier, but that Moonstone kept him alive for ages. And we are seeing the point where GAM has that gold lead. Their team fighting is just simply superior in both composition and in terms of their players. And they are making the most of it. They're going to pick up 2 towers off this team fight win. Baron's up in 7 seconds, so they can reset now, pick up their items, pick up their wards, and go set up and try and take that for themselves.
And this is just sort of symptomatic of a lot of SGB's problems in that... Well, actually, I'll come back to it after this replay.
We see SGB just try and commit, but B does a really good job at absorbing a lot of pressure. That Sonya's coming in clutch, and then just look at the healing from this Moonstone. It gets B quite a lot of health back. Eventually he does go down to Harsmed, but it forces Harsmed to sort of waste a bit extra time. He ends up trading 1 for 1. Then just a bit of cleanup onto BJ. Kiaya hanging out in the base of SGB, chasing people down. They decide not to go for the Baron because the much more important Elder Drake is up, and SGB are first to it. So we're going to have to see GAM react. Sorry.
GAM is arriving. 3,000 health on this dragon. Levi is here. There's the Hextech ultimatum coming out, and it's going to be the dragon resetting. That's an important one to watch. Husmed goes to sleep in the death realm with Levi. Levi prancing around. He manages to survive. He's back, and look at this. On the other side of the fight, it is all GAM. SGB putting up a valiant effort, but in the end, it is far too difficult to actually beat GAM. It's going to be the Ace. It's going to be an Elder Dragon. It's going to be a Baron.
It's going to be a mid lane inhibitor. We're going to have to see if they just try and go for the game. It's 10 seconds on Ariety and Taki, so probably not. But that's going to be an Elder Dragon, so they may just go for the end and just use that Elder buff to blow them to hell.
I think they're just going to end the game.
Yeah, no, they're going to just end the game. No Baron. They don't need it. They have the Elder Dragon and a really, really fast Gargoyle.
Yep, this is going to be on Taki and Ariety to try and prevent, and I don't think it's possible. There's not even a bullet time. The game ends, and GAM, despite a shaky mid-game, do come out on top. There's a lot to talk about in that game. I certainly have a lot to discuss, but we will be going to a short break so we can get our analysts back. Oh, well, we will be going to a break in a second, as production panicked there for a second. I apologize.
Come on, man.
It was now will we go into a break? I do apologize for that. We'll be back in just a few minutes with our analysts.
Too late, the melody is over. The joke seems to be on me, 'cause I'm the one laughing down here on the floor. Deflate the mystery of living in the most heartless fashion I could ever imagine. No pretense of decor. Another place and time without a great divide, and we could be flying deadly high. I sell my soul to dream you wide awake. Another place and time without a warning sign, and we could be giant angel style. I'll sell my soul to dream you wide awake. I'll dream you, 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 I'll dream you wide awake. With me, disaster finds a playfield. Love seems to draw dark, twisted pleasure tearing at me, 'cause I can't let you go. Mercy like water in the desert, shine through my memory like jewelry on the sun. So where are you now? Where are you now? Another place and time without a great divide, we could be flying deadly high. I sell my soul to dream you wide awake. Another place and time without a warning sign, and we could be giant angel style. I sell my soul to dream you wide awake. Oh, I'll dream you, 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 I'll dream you wide awake. It's like I'm racing to the sun, blindly face the blazing gun. I'm afraid I will be left here without you. Like I'm racing not to run. You give me more when I am done. I'm afraid I will be left here without you. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. Another place and time without a great divide, we could be flying deadly high. I sell my soul to dream you wide awake. Another place and time without a warning sign, and we could be giant angel style. I sell my soul to dream you wide awake. Yeah, I'll dream you, I'll dream you, I'll dream you, I will dream you, I'll dream you, I will dream you, I will dream you wide awake. Oh.
Close your eyes, have faith in me, and leave the light behind. You're never alone. Whenever it's gone, let the shadows stay home. You're never alone. Let the poison in. Feel the warmth arise. Close your eyes, have faith in me, and leave the light behind. You're never alone.
Welcome back, everybody. It is game 2 of SGB vs. GAM. My camera is all sorts of broken. We'll fix that up as soon as possible. But it's okay. You don't need to see the top of my head. Rebel, we'll get your thoughts as we can link you back in. What did you think of game 1? GAM were the winners, of course, but what did you think?
I mean, Saigon, they were able to play their composition in the earlier game, I think, exactly how they expected. They had a couple of fights that went really, really close, but you two pointed it out almost perfectly. I think it was a massive gap here for style, bigger than anybody, I think, would have expected. Variety had a good week last week, but certainly was nowhere near what style could do this week.
Yeah, I 100% agree. RBY as well, not a super impactful game out of him. I don't remember Syndra pressing R. I'm sure he did, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, BY turned out to be a bit of a failure. Time to bring in Froggy.
Yeah, I genuinely do think it's time to bring the Frog Champ back in. Frogly needs to retake the field. Hopefully he has been in that hyperbolic time chamber getting ready for this one. They're just going to reverse sweep. Easy peasy. Anyone can take 2 games in a row off GAM. Yeah, 2 games in a row off GAM. Easy. No problem whatsoever. But Rebel, what do they need to fix in this game too?
I think, first off, their composition wasn't really designed for team fighting, so if they're going to take a game that late, then they desperately need the ability to team fight somehow and in some way, because they just ended up getting kind of run over throughout everything. They were still never able to really slow down either Kadi or Levi for the course of that game, so while, yes, you were able to keep up to, for the most part, from Bean J's Olaf onto Levi's Lilia, you never slowed down the Lilia, and also Kadi was still running the map with these Galio ultimates. Not every single play and out of reroam was perfect, but man, he was still all over the place, and he was still very clearly the better of the 2 mid laners. So you desperately need some control in your mid jungle, which is what we expected to be a pretty decently strong point with Froggy. Of course, he wasn't in this game. Maybe bringing him back in or having that Twisted Fate, something along those lines, would be helpful here for Saigon Buffalo to control this mid game if they want to go back to early aggression.
Yeah, I agree. I think that game illustrated a lot of the weaknesses of this SGB comp that didn't get exposed last week. Shockingly enough, when Husmed plays against a player that's better than him, the whole team suffers because he can't just hard smurf. Kiaya kept him honest. The matchup favored Kiaya, obviously. Camille into Mordekaiser is a pretty easy matchup for the Camille. Even worse, because Kiaya is better than Husmed. Husmed's really good, but Kiaya is the best player in the league, so it's not going to be an easy matchup whatsoever. I think they need to play around Husmed a bit and pivot it, because once Husmed fell, Ariety was getting exposed, the mid lane didn't have any impact, and despite Bean J desperately dragging them, it just wasn't enough.
No. I mean, it was still good signs from Buffalo. They played their map rotations in the early game extremely well, and they were able to keep up in head of gold for most of it. But yeah, they just fell apart in the team fighting. Not having an engage option, I think, really hurt their tempo come those mid to late game team fights. And that play when they won that team fight and then tried to take both Baron and Dragon at the same time really screwed up their ability to win the game.
Was the rookie team exposed.
That was where they threw. Up until then, their macro was really good. So just one big mistake where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go for Baron. Oh wait, no, they can get Soul," and then they panicked, split the difference, and lost, because that's what happens when you make split decisions like that half the time. You have to commit completely with your team. Pick one and go for it.
Let's talk about on the GAM side of things, because that was a shaky mid game. It very much looked like they might not get over the line there, were it not for that shoddy Baron call. Rebel, we will head into Champion Select, so maybe truncate this point a little bit. What was your take on GAM?
I mean, GAM looked good. Again, they set up the team fight a lot better than what their opposition did, and they certainly played it a lot better. So I think the big thing was GAM knew what their composition was capable of. They extended beyond their means a little bit to start the game, but they certainly reeled it back in, and then were just taking what was available to them. And clearly, they challenged Saigon to beat them, and Saigon was not anywhere near up to the task.
We are heading into Champions Select now. GAM will be over on the blue side, SGB on the red, of course. Akali, Camille, Renekton, and Pantheon removed. GAM banning out their own Camille and also taking away BJ's Olaf. So they've changed up their draft strategy a little bit. What does this leave open? What do you think changes with the swap of the sides, Vinny?
I think the main thing that changes is GAM really gets to dictate where they want to go with their comp. Where they were sort of playing a little bit more reactive in the draft phase before, having that Olaf.
RBY still in. No frog chin.
RBY still in. That's unfortunate. Preserving his win rate, I suppose. But I don't know what GAM will go for. I was going to actually say the Kaiser. They just got in ahead of me. But I think that's fine. You pick one as an ADC that style looked excellent on last week. They decide to match with the Aphelios instead of something like the Samira, which is the traditional take into the Kaiser, but with Thresh.
They get the Thresh as well, though, so that's important.
Leaves them open to just more dive, though. And we've seen Aphelios. We've seen the GAM counter to Aphelios. He's big, he's fat, and he's called Gragas. And I want to see Levi's Gragas again, because I love Levi's Gragas.
So they pick away the Lilia here, potentially saving the Thresh for the third pick. Kaiser Thresh is not a particularly potent combo, so I don't think there's too much risk of it being stolen away. But will Cardi bring out the beast again? The pit fighter? Can we get some set? I'd love it. There it is. This is for Cardi, and this guy is ridiculous on the channel.
And we say it's for Cardi. Oh, sorry, no, go for it.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'll be talking for ages.
Hey, you're about to say the same thing I think I'm reaching for, which is that, like, if you could also go Gragas right here, and it's exactly what they're going to do, and now you've got flexibility in 3 positions for both the Gragas and this set, combined with the fact that you already know what the enemy jungler is, which means you can pick pretty much anything for Levi, and I think there's better counter picks than Gragas, but there's so much flexibility in this draft, which is the reason you take Kai'Sa to start with. When you take Kai'Sa at B1, that means you can take your composition into a bunch of different ways. When you pigeonhole yourself with Aphelios, you're going for that team fighting strategy, and now GAM can draft against what Saigon set up already.
And with that Galio lock... Oh, sorry. With that Galio lock-in, Thresh ban. I think we were going to say the same thing.
We were going to say the exact same thing. I think that's a mistake out of SGB. I get that the Galio is strong, and you can pivot it to support, but Aphelios Thresh is so much better than Aphelios and any other support. It is such a massive help to the Aphelios to have access to that lantern. I think that's a massive drafting mistake out of Ren. I think you just lock that Thresh up. If you don't get your Galio, who cares? There are other picks.
Yeah, and if you want, and because there's no Thresh anymore, we're going to be it's more of an in-game thing, but if Aphelios does want to be a little bit safer, he should build Gale Force, but most are building Kraken Slayer so that means he's going to be even more of a sitting duck if he goes for that. But as for draft, they're taking away these pick supports, so I'm very interested to see what they want to take into that bot lane, as the Gnar is locked in for Hasmed. Probably happy to run that into either Set or Gragas if they go up there, but you're leaving yourself open to be counterpicked a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a top lane has been picked here for GAM, let's be real.
I don't think so either.
This is Levi, he's playing the Gragas. This is Cardi, he's probably playing the Set.
Mm-hmm.
Will we just get the Rock?
This is what we saw, I think, last week with Kiaya, where he was playing the exact same thing into the likes of the Gnar. This is pretty much exactly the same composition we saw them run last week to very big avail. They are exceptionally talented on this. He continues with this Blitzcrank pick. I almost certainly do expect the Rel or something along those lines, just because there's a very good counter-engage composition that's been set up. Gragas, Malphite, and then also the Rel now means that if you are completely picture perfect with the Gnar jumping in with the ultimate, with Galio following up, there could be some real problems here from the side of Saigon Buffalo.
The setup for the site out, I'm going to run the Seraphine again. That is hopefully a mid lane Seraphine this time around. Yes, it is, thank goodness, because running that into Rel Kai'Sa is just asking to be bullied. And yeah, if you swap that Gragas for Lilia, that's the game 1 comp that was ran against Flash by GAM last week, and that was a disgustingly good game out of them. And now with the Gragas, which we saw in the game 2 against Flash, which was disgusting, it's the best of both of those GAM games. So I am really worried for SGB, because they have a lot of tanky members for Gragas and Set to just throw around and completely murder.
Yeah, I think SGB have fumbled this draft a little bit. I think the draft is not horrible, but it could have been so much better. I feel like that Thresh would have done so much. I just hate it not being there. I get what they're going for with the Galio ult and that, but GAM has such good counter engage. The Rel for B is going to be absolutely disgusting. Rebel, you sort of touched on the what you think of these comps. Now that we've seen all 10 champions, what are your thoughts?
I still have to say that GAM should be running team fights, just because they can play either engage or counter engage. Also, the way that Style played in the last game, being the primary damage dealer, Levi being the sole source of AP damage, means it's harder to itemize against this team. So many good things. I couldn't possibly gush over GAM's composition any more than the fact that they've played it before. So Saigon, they have to impress me with something here. RBY has to try to figure out some sort of actual action to take on the map. Hasmed looked really good on the Gnar last week. Maybe that's the key to getting him back into this series, but I'm still very heavily GAM favored, I gotta say.
I think I have to agree. And we are heading on to the Rift, so you are going to lock in a GAM 2-0. He nodded, don't worry.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, there you go. We will talk to Rebel again after this game, don't you worry, guys. But it is just going to be me and Vinny now. One thing going in SGB's favour is Hasmed should win this lane. It's Gnar versus Malphite.
Should win the lane.
He won't hard smash it. Kiaya is good enough not to get hard smashed, but he should have run of the lane.
Yeah, it's true. And with BJ probably having that earlier jungle pressure because of the faster clear, should be interesting. And hello, I didn't realize Team Secret was playing. Because DMK is on the Rift with Dark Harvest
Gragas. Ooh.
So that's something. Anyway, an actual point, instead of just gawking at Levi's Keystone, is that both these comps kind of want to do the same sort of thing, in that they're both heavily focused around their AD carry. Style is the only true damage source on the side of GAM. Levi, of course, has a lot of burst as Gragas, but he's sort of a one and done champion. Whereas, you have the supportive mid laner. Gnar and Lilia both provide a bit more damage, but your main focus is this bot lane, as there's a bit of a trade going on, but which Taki's going to get the worst of, but
yep.
Rel is just super tanky. There's no threat of her going down on the return. But the main point is Aphelios has no real repositioning tools unless he builds that Gale Force, which I'm not confident he will, especially against such a tanky team of Gragas, Malphite, Set, and Rel. He'll really be hurting without that Kraken Slayer. So that's going to mean he's even more open. RBY just dies.
Okay, I am a little bit behind because, yeah, he does just die.
And I imagine it's either just a flash face breaker or a flash body slam and then followed up by the other, because yeah, that's just a dead RBY, and that's a good start for Gragas. He doesn't need to worry as much about having that slower clear if he just gets that first blood gold.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that brings you back.
It really, really does. And Cardi now has control over the mid lane. Seraphine didn't use her flash, so that at least is in their favor if BJ wants to drift over there at some point. But still probably not the lane you want to be ganking. It will at least keep him safe. As B, sitting on her horse in the bot lane, will be able to assert a lot of control. Make sure that Style can safely farm, but it's nice and even, as Aphelios does still have access to that sniper rifle.
Yeah, but just going to see the replay. Yep, flash face breaker, body slam flash, and there's nothing RBY can do with that CC chain. Smart enough not to blow the flash, but first blood does go down, goes the way of Levi, but has to give up a lot of jungle space and sort of time on his clear. So he's going to be a little bit. It's going to give BJ time to get that lead, get those early boots, and back quite comfortably.
Yeah, that it does. And so far, things looking good for GAM. Ooh, Style does take a bit of damage, is getting taunted and has to burn that cleanse. But Levi is here, the teleport's coming in. It's going to be the bot lane dive, but it's a little bit stuffed already. Cardi running forward, and they just call off the play.
What happened to the teleport?
He landed.
Okay, he did land. I got confused.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it was Cardi teleporting. I thought it was someone on the side of SGB, which is why I was really confused. So, yeah, teleport comes in, makes sure that the sort of botch play doesn't get even more botched. But BJ is just going to take this opportunity to counter jungle some of these chickens, take that away. But he may be caught out. Nope.
Ooh,
no face breaker from Cardi.
No, okay, I'm behind.
You're behind. Yes.
I'm gonna try and catch up. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to catch up. I'm at. I'll just do some 2 times and then I'll tell you what I get to. I'm at 33, 34. 35.
You're a little bit ahead.
Okay.
We're at 34, 35,
36, 37,
7,
yeah,
38.
39, 40.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Sorry about this, guys. It's just my computer is dying. I desperately need a new one.
Yeah, you do.
But
Unfortunately.
very expensive, and
Yeah.
so are lawyers. $1,600. Yay. Yeah, that's fun. Anyway, back onto what people care about, because it's definitely not my life. As Cardi farming up a storm in the mid lane there, staying even with Arby, which we've been informed is how it is pronounced. We don't have to say all the letters, which is always nice. How do we think things are going to be approached? There is a Mountain Drake on the Rift. B, having a little bit of a roam.
That dragon looks to be the next point of contention, as Arby is going to catch Cardi a little bit on the rotation, but Levi is here to make. But the Scuttle Crab is in possession of SGB, or should be. So, I think if I'm GAM, I just sort of give up that dragon. It's only one Mountain Drake. SGB isn't exactly the tankier, so it's not going to multiply their stats by too much. Use that time to build up some extra farm on Levi. Get him back into sort of parity with this Lilia. Maybe you just try for a sneaky barrel or jump over the wall, but no, they're too late on that. Don't get the smite. But just a blast going over the wall and a knee out. That's plenty. That's all I'd ever want to commit for that. Meanwhile, you managed to get a little bit of gold back onto Levi. Has nope, just Hex flashing for style points.
Yeah, why not? It's there. You may as well press it. I'm curious to see where Carty goes next. Whenever he's on this set, it's often him that's getting the party started. He was doing that on Flash, and he did that in the one game he's played it so far for GAM. So he does call a lot of the shots. Up on the top side, ooh, Kiaya needs to get his skates on, as there will be a pretty quick Nah, but not quick enough. This rock should be just fine. Actually gets tagged with the boomerang. He has to use the ult to get away. That's well done by Husmet.
Yeah, BJ in the right place at the right time is able to force the ultimate out of Kiaya. Now Levi's going to make himself shown on this bot side.
This is going to be a dive. B going forward. That Aphelios is just completely immobile. Throws the barrel, hits him with the belly, and it's the freest kill you'll ever see. Carty wants to get towards Taki, is taking the tower for his team. What a team player. And that is a double kill down on the bot side. And GAM just out-rotate.
However, that showing on the bot side means SGB are going to respond with the pressure they had earlier. They're going to take this Rift Herald and then probably look to try and snowball the top lane a little bit. They've got a small CS lead for Husman in the top side. They can try and make something happen on Kiaya now that he doesn't have his ult. Seraphine is on the roam. Do they go for some sort of dive? Levi no one's really in position to respond on the side of GAM. No, they're just going to look to take this blue buff.
I think BJ's, his health's too low. He's got no
His
mana.
Yeah. His health is quite low, but it's not like Kiaya does anything. He's Malphite. Malphite without ult at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but I also don't mind them not taking the risk. They could have gone for it, but getting the blue buff steal and the Rift Herald is already pretty good. So I actually kind of like BJ just saying, no, that's enough. No need to go get more. Let Husmet just keep quietly winning this lane. He's 20 CS up. You could have punished it, but I don't think it was necessary.
It's not going to lose them anything, of course. It's just, I think they definitely had time, especially with Seraphine on having priority for roam. Could have just gone, healed up BJ on the way, get a little bit more out of it, but as it is, they have a Rift Herald in their back pocket that they can use to make a play somewhere else. They can maybe try and punish Carty next time he goes for a roam. Maybe they can use that to try and get Ariety back into the game with a bit of with a play down in bot lane. As it is right now, it seems like for the most part, GAM is dictating the plays, and SGB are just doing their best to try and respond.
As is so often the case with GAM. They are almost always the ones calling the shots. Ooh, Husband going forward here. Kiaya gives him a bit of a slap, but can't do anything more with that Narbar being very, very close to full. He will actually just head back to base. Just get his reset on. Down on the bot side, it is the full boots picked up by Ariety, which means he's quite far behind on the Mythic race. As Style powering towards that.
Kiaya's
side. Yeah, Kiaya is dead. He uses the ult to clear the way. The teleport's coming in, but BJ will get that kill easily. Oh, hello! Arby arrived! Gets showstoppered, but manages to flash away. Just a wasted teleport by the SGB mid laner.
Arby's ultimate was... never mind.
We've got to play on the bot side. B engaging. The barrel makes it oh so easy. Taki will be falling as well. Can B get away? Definitely can. Calculated. Used his whole health bar. A tower plate is secured. Oh, that swirl seed was close.
It was very close indeed. And there's another one still looking. But turns out the horse was enough clothes. And Levi is already doing insane amounts of damage, as he's probably going to kill Arby as we see this replay.
What, are we really cutting to the replay there, guys? Okay, there was a Nah into... I mean, this is a pretty textbook dive here.
Yeah, it's not so much CC. Carty TPs to try and help. Arby teleports to try and respond to the Carty teleport. That just means he sort of ends up having to blow his flash for nothing because he can't cancel. Then B is just super tanky, able to tank this for hours. Levi does so much damage already that Arati just disappeared. RB did not die, turns out. Still only that first death.
Okay.
And instead of that, they are going to catch Levi on a reset and pick up this dragon. Maybe they're going to pick up Cardi.
Yeah, he doesn't have access to the showstopper. He can't ride that one out. Has to use the flash, but he'll be taking a nap into a taunt. Still has access to Haymaker for the big shield, but doesn't even press it. And GAM just caught flat-footed.
And there's the Rift Herald dropped off after this kill. It's going to get them that first turret, and that's also going to give us a great opportunity to resync, because you're behind again, mate.
Oh, god damn it.
Yep. Sorry.
I need a new computer. It's real bad. What's your timestamp?
1308, 09, 10, 11. Yeah, so that is
19,
actually
20, 21.
you're a little bit
ahead.
ahead. A little bit ahead.
Can you give me a timestamp? Is
23,
production
24, 25. Production is not here,
26,
but I think I'm in sync with
Okay.
production, so
29, 30,
30, 31.
31. Okay, cool.
32,
We should be in sync for now.
Oh, it's not. But great play out of SGB, able to capitalize on that reset from GAM, but Husman is caught out.
Husman is
Dead.
dead.
Just-
Man, B
Right.
on Rel is ridiculous. He's really good at this champ.
You're always not here, you're not allowed to make those.
You can't stop
No,
me.
stop
I'm your boss.
No, you're not. You don't pay me enough to be my boss.
I don't pay you. You can't stop me. But in all seriousness, this is wherever B goes, the plays doth follow. As he is just absolutely dominating on this rel. They haven't got anyone that can stop him. Ariety has gone towards the Kraken Slayer rather than the Gale Force. With no mobility, I think it's not going to be Ariety playing this game. It's going to be a Deity.
Yeah. Ariety is about to be doing
Thanks,
his
bro.
best Dip Kid impression.
Yeah.
Which is exploding. And I have to disagree with SGB's item choices on a whole.
Yeah.
Double.
That's a Seraphine with Leandris.
That's not as much an issue without if there wasn't also a Lilia with Leandris. They don't stack. Having double Leandris is just a mistake.
Are we really not going Moonstone on the Seraphine? Like, come on.
Yeah, I would rather 2 Moonstones than 2 Leandris.
Yeah.
Give Variety a fighting chance at survival with all the healing you can put out there. And apparently we were both slightly behind, but we can't do anything because Spoots is getting lunch.
Yep. Our production is AFK, so we can't. If we are a little bit behind output, there's nothing we can do. Blame Spoots. He hungry. This is. I mean, I don't understand this item build. You have picked a protect the Ariety comp and then don't build the free healing items. Cardi is in a little bit of trouble on the top side. This tower will be going down to the Herald, but Set will evacuate safely.
Yeah, we're seeing more or less a repeat of that of the first game.
Production
back.
Hey!
Hey!
Back. Production, what's your timestamp? Okay.
Oh no, we are actually in sync.
Oh, okay, alrighty, getting Dovian on, but does get away. I'm a little bit behind them. Again, it's always me.
It's always you.
Can you count your timestamp, production, please? Okay, I'm in sync. I'm back in sync.
Awesome.
Alright, let's hope it maintains. Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Anyway.
Hey, donate to our Patreon so I can upgrade my PC.
As I was saying before production returned, we're seeing a bit of a repeat of the first game. GAM is coming up really far ahead in their individual plays. They are making really good plays around the map with B and Cardi and Levi as well, just getting great picks and able to translate that into more gold. You can see in the score, it's 6-2, but the gold is so close to, is basically even. The Dragons an advantage of SGB. Both Rift Heralds have been an advantage of SGB. They have been able to play around the map so much better than GAM. And I think for the most part, BJ is actually outperforming Levi simply in terms of map rotation. So we may see Cardi get called, but I don't think he will be called.
He's just a little bit too quick.
Fast boy.
Yeah, he's a bit too quick. He turned on the boosters. And GAM, in return, will pressure this mid lane to stop any chase going too deep from BJ. They will get a lot of damage on this tower. They might actually just get a free mid lane tower, and they do. And
that's really important for GAM.
Not the best. And I agree with what you were saying. I just want to comment quickly. I agree with what you were saying about Levi being a little bit outperformed by BJ at the moment. Levi, he's got 3 kills, but he kind of just walked bot lane twice and threw a barrel. So not having a bad game, but BJ has been absolutely everywhere, and this is now the first neutral objective actually going in favor of GAM.
And to be fair, to Levi, Lilia is a lot faster in terms of getting around the map, making sure her camps are clear, and thus being first to the objectives. Levi has been making the most of it. He's been able to get advantages for his team with these ganks, but the lacking of objective control that GAM has had in this series is really, really a good point in BJ's favor. But that mid lane play, that attempt on Takati turning into that mid lane to tower for GAM is actually super important because they do not have any real siege potential. They have a lot of dive and they can threaten that. But if there comes to a sort of 5v5 siege, that's where GAM will really struggle because they have to look for that. They have to look for that dive. They have 4 melee, and then Style, who is on Kai'Sa, which is a really, really short range AD carry, which means you're not going to be able to just siege down towers in the traditional sense, especially before Baron comes in to play.
Yeah, for sure. This GAM composition kind of just does one thing, and it does one thing well, and that one thing is fight. As they do pick up the Scuttle Crab, securing their Baron vision. Of course, it won't be up for another 40 seconds, and probably not takeable for quite a while after that. Let's see where GAM want to go, and it's on to Ruby. Do they have the ability to actually make contact? Yes, they do. The Seraphine ult won't be good enough. He flashed and everything. What a misplay out of Ruby as he has been found. The teleports have come in. The horse is mounted and Husmed is about to gnaw it out. Cardi has a double kill. And GAM is just so good.
Goodbye, alrighty. Came in and Cardi's like, nope, you're coming with me. Takes him straight out of the fight. Arby. There is a Gragas. You have to flash after the barrel is thrown. Flashing beforehand just means they know where to put the barrel. And then you have no response. And that means you die. And that means GAM is able to convert this into a Baron because BJ is on the wrong side of the map. Cardi's able to teleport down there and make sure there's no ability to cross-map play in terms of getting that tower. There's no ultimate from Taki either, so they can't try and dive him. Not that diving tank set is a good thing to do anyway. But yeah, we just see Arby. I think he's trying to flash. He tries to predict the taunt flash, but there's still a barrel to work with. Just knocks him straight back into the kill. Taki comes in. So does a righty. Look at him. He's like, "Hi guys," and then just immediately killed by Cardi.
I love the idea of that because Husband and Taki were never going to die, you know. Set's just standing there like, oh yeah, having a bit. Oh, hello.
Yeah,
you're soft. I can kill you. And if Tumblr has taught me anything, Set does really like Aphelios. So we'll have to. We're just playing to the fandom there. As the mid lane inner does go down, we're powering straight through, lads. As a wave gets cleared out, Baron buffed minions do push forward, and GAM is looking unassailable.
Yeah, they're doing so well. They're doing really well. Now they have the Baron buff. Now they can siege. Alrighty, really just having a bad game of it with that ultimate just not doing anything. It didn't even hit the minions. Poor Variety. He's doing his best. He's trying. But apparently someone went down here and it was Kiaya. Oh, no, it wasn't Kiaya. We just got to saw Husmed completely whiff his ult, and it is BJ that goes down because of a beautiful barrel from Levi. And a beautiful flash haymaker from Cardi. This big boy duo of Gragas and Stat is doing so much work.
Cardi flashed forward, face broke him away from Styles W, so he couldn't ult forward. Cardi wanted that kill, and he did everything he could to make sure it was his.
Look, and it happened with the kill on Ariety too. Style was like dumped all his damage into Ariety, and then Ariety just gets show stopped over the wall away from Styles, so Cardi can pick up the kill, as we're going to see in Engage.
Yeah, that we are, and look at all the damage going out. There is going to be an ultimate, but Style manages to kite away, ults over to the Lilia, takes him down. B is so absurdly tanky on this rel. Look how long he bought. It's a double kill for Levi. Nah cleaned up Cardi on the side of the fight. I didn't even really see how that happened. B very low. Has to play around RB. He is managing to clear out all of the minions here, so he's actually done a pretty valuable job. Makes this push much harder, but it's still going to be in an inhibitor fairly easily.
B, go home, buddy. Please. Go home before I have a heart attack.
He's going home now. He's going home now. It's okay. Husband is back in mini form, and they're going to mosey on over to the Dragon, get their second Cloud Drake, I should say, not Soul. And GAM having a much better mid game than game 1, and it doesn't look like SGB can do much.
Yeah, GAM able to really play around this duo of Levi and Cardi, but it's actually B getting so much done here. Able to just absorb so much from Ariety and Taki and Arby. Just 3 people wailing on B, but the horse is clothes, and the clothes are strong. Able to buy enough time for Kiai to come in and get the knock up so Style can knock them down, and now Cardi is finally caught.
Yeah, they have caught him out. He is going to take a lot of damage, gets a big haymaker shield. Show stops his way out, but he will go to sleep, will get taken down. B diving on in. He's 1v4 at the moment, gets charmed by Seraphine. This might be a little bit of GAM over eagerness as they lose 3 for no reason.
They chase the loss, but they funnel in one at a time. It's a classic VCS mistake when people are ahead. They just funnel in one at a time to chase a loss. And a great ultimate from Arby. Great ultimate from Arby picks up Style, and now Levi and Kiaya, they can't clear waves. They're Gragas and Malphite.
Yeah, there is no way to clear though.
Right next to it. Yeah, that is true. But that's an open inhibitor. They're not able to match the inhibitor, so it's still super minions to no super minions for GAM. So they'll still have that pressure in the mid lane overall. But that kills a lot of the momentum that GAM was able to have. It brings a lot of gold back into the pockets of Saigon Buffalo, and Levi was walking to 4 people, and we're seeing a replay of Cardi just getting caught out. Don't know what to tell you. He just got caught out. Then B go in. Then Style go in. Then Levi walk away because he doesn't want to be a 4th kill.
Yeah. Doesn't even throw the barrel. Oh no, he does in the end.
He doesn't
do much of anything.
Look, there's a classic children's song which I think really sums up that team fight. The ants go marching one by one.
I don't know where you were going with that, but I approve. Oh, this is a bit of a silly mistake by GAM. Definitely not enough to lose them their position in this game, though they are now only 2k gold ahead. They do need to be careful. The issue
Cardi.
Ooh.
Cardi, you could have just killed Ariety there.
Yeah, he definitely could. I think I'm
That's the
behind
fight.
again. As Ariety has been caught out, yeah, I'm behind. As Arby is the one to be focused. He gets showstop, slammed into the ground. There's a haymaker. They haven't actually killed the Seraphine yet. They finally do. Ariety is able to have absolutely 0 impact on this fight, and it's all GAM at the moment. Levi is golden. It's another kill onto that Aphelios. Husmed will be the last one to fall, but fall he shall. And that's going to be GAM taking the fight, and I think taking the game.
Yeah, definitely taking the game off that. That is a 5-for-0 ace. They have the tankiest members in the world. They have super minions. They can take this towers forever. As Cardi has to haymaker. But there's your win. That's GAM.
That is
2-0.
GAM. They get the 2-0. The Saigon Buffalo Stampede is stopped in its tracks in emphatic discussion. People suddenly saying they're the best team in the league have been proven pretty soundly wrong. Maybe don't read that much into week 1, guys. Just saying. As that was a really strong performance out of GAM. They continue to show that they can kind of do anything. Carty gets on this set. Not a meta pick at the moment. Set mid, it's not a meta pick whatsoever. He makes it look like it's absolutely broken. This man is insane. And with that, we will be going to a bit of a break. We hope you are enjoying the show here on VCS English. If you are, consider supporting our Patreon or donating to the stream. We would really appreciate it. Money is hard, particularly at the moment. So we want to keep doing this, but we can't keep doing it for free. So support is appreciated. With that, we will be back for our second series in about 25 minutes. There'll be a timer on screen. The stream will turn off for a little bit. That's just to save our VOD guy some hassle, but don't worry, it will be back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on VCS English.
No Froggy, no win.